Okay, I'm Adam.
I'm Dan.
And we are going to review Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to review it because we don't want to spoil it for anyone.
Yeah, so I guess the first thing I'll say about this video is that this is a spoiler-free video. We are not going to be revealing any plot details or anything that basically happens. It's just going to be kind of our general thoughts and ideas and what we liked and what we kind of disliked about the movie in as vague terms as possible.
Yeah.
So I'll start this off
Okay.
by saying that if you go into this film theorizing that you think you know what's going to happen, or you go into this film and you want something specifically to happen, like you came up with A theory and B theory and C theory, and you personally believe, oh, they're going to go with either of these theories, or this theory would be the best, or this is the theory, or this is the way I want it to go, I will just shut you down right now and say, that's not going to happen. If you're willing to just go into the movie and accept what's going to happen and just sit down and go along for the ride, this is probably the most entertaining, action-packed, emotional thrill ride that you could go see this year.
And I will say, part of the, it's not really a spoiler because I'm not getting into specifics, but
Yeah.
part of the point of the movie is messing with your expectations, essentially. Yeah. The whole movie is about, you think one thing's going to happen and then it doesn't, or you think things are this way and they're not. And that is part of the point. So if you go in and you're just married to an idea, you absolutely won't accept if it's not going to be this, I want to say it's your fault, but I like the movie, so maybe that's biased. But the point is, the point of the movie is to not do that. So you're really setting yourself up for disappointment if you're going to go in and not be open-minded.
Yeah.
Because that is what the movie is about.
First thing I want to talk about is fucking Mark
Oh.
Hamill as Luke Skywalker. This is probably not only his best performance as Luke Skywalker, but it's his best performance I think I've seen him do in a really long time. Not that Mark Hamill is really known for a lot of other shit besides Star Wars, but this is probably the best performance in his film career.
I will say probably, and a lot of that, and I actually saw, we're not the only ones saying that either. A bunch of people I've seen online have said, this is probably his best performance, and it proves that Mark Hamill is actually a good actor who does deserve things beyond Star Wars and has been given them. And so, hopefully, this will lead to, one of those late-stage things where, as he's an older actor now, maybe he'll get a little more, he'll be given some more chances to shine in his later career. And I hope that happens, because I would like to see him branch it. As much as I love Luke Skywalker, and I think, Star Wars is a big part of his life and should be embraced, but I would like to see him do more because I like Mark Hamill, not just Luke Skywalker.
I look at this film and it's I look at it and I'm like, I can't see anyone who can't say that he at least deserves a Oscar nomination for best supporting actor.
They give him such a great arc that is revealed so well and so smoothly that it really helped. Mark Hamill does do a great job acting, but the writing was on point with that too.
Yeah.
Because you really feel his arc, both what happened that we didn't see and that's happening as we see it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is. This film to me rivals Empire in the acting and the writing aspects.
Yeah.
Another great performance that I absolutely loved was Adam Driver as Kylo Ren.
He was probably the other standout. Yeah.
He was great in The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
I loved him. I know there's people who have a problem with Kylo Ren because everyone's kind of he's just kind of this angsty teen who's just kind of,
He's kind of whiny.
He's kind of whiny and selfish and, kind of like that kid who's it's my toys, you know.
But again, that was the point.
That's the point because, okay, he saw this film once. I saw it twice. I saw the night it came out and I saw it again yesterday. And I took another friend of mine and, that was his complaint was, Kylo Ren is just such this bitch, essentially. He's just kind of this whiner and complainer. He's like a teenager. And I'm like, yeah, and you know who else was like that? A guy called Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
It makes sense for him to be this way.
And that's the thing, is especially in this movie then, part of his arc, again, is messing with your expectations where, he learns, he starts to learn that, he has to change. you know, I won't say how he changes or why,
Yeah,
but he learns that he has to change, and that's part of his arc.
It is.
And then, you know, and even then, by the end of the movie, he's not fully done. It's clear that there's still work he has to do, or that he should do, but, you know, but he starts to get it. And again, it's the movie messing with your expectations and presenting what looks like it's going to be the same thing again, and then you see that, like, you know, he starts to catch on.
Yeah, there's a lot of growth in him in this film.
And the writing with his character was also very well done.
And not only with his character, but him and Rey.
Oh, God.
Have some of the best exchanges.
That was another great part.
And Daisy Ridley as Rey is fantastic.
Yeah.
Like I at my Murder on the Orient Express review, I said how I was genuinely surprised on how well Daisy Ridley was doing in that film. How she really is a great actress. And Last Jedi expands upon Rey and really starts to show her range as an actress.
Yeah.
Because Rey has some really fucking good moments in this movie where you are just rooting for her character, and just as you're watching her grow and struggle.
Yeah. Well,
and question things.
You're rooting for her character. You're also, you know, you're feeling the pain that she's feeling. You're, you know, when she hits a low moment, it feels like a low moment. It's, you know, you're with her on the journey.
John Boyega as Finn is great, and Finn gets a little growth as well.
Yeah,
not as much as, you know, as Rey and Kylo.
Right,
and
but he got a lot more in the first one.
He did,
so he doesn't need as much this time.
Yeah, he's basically where you could argue in Force Awakens he was a main character. In this film, he's kind of a side character almost. He kind of takes a supporting role, takes a little bit of a backseat, which some people complained about, but I didn't mind because the journey that he gets to go on is very interesting and very entertaining.
Yeah, he goes on a little caper, and there's some, you know, there's some mischief and
there's good action. We get introduced to a brand new character who stands alone on his own, who's very good, who's played by Benicio del Toro. Who was surprising because no one knew anything about Benicio del Toro's character.
Right.
And then when he shows up in the movie, which he shows up at about the halfway point and shit like that, and I loved his character. I thought it was to the point where
not ultimately in it too much.
No,
but that's probably for the best.
Enough though to give you a taste of what this character is, and for you wanting to see him again down the line somewhere.
Yeah, and especially again, like with the writing, I think the way his character is presented was done very well too, because like, he could come back. He doesn't have to, but he does. But he could, and if he does, you're not going to know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and people have complained that you know, Finn's little adventure with the character Rose, so we didn't get into. I'll just say really quick, she's a good character. I like her a lot, and she was played very well.
Yeah.
But that's all I'm going to say about her for right now, because I don't want to give anything away.
Giving away more would kind of be spoilers.
But you know, their little adventure, people have complained that that's the flaw of the movie, because when you go with them, it's the only part of the movie that drags the whole movie down, because everyone's like, it consistently cuts back to them, and like they feel like, oh, I want to see what's going on with Rey, or I want to see what's going on with Kylo. They end up getting more invested into these other things, and I understand that, and I get it, but for me, it was like, I didn't feel that way.
No.
Like, for me, it was this really good balance of, we get a little bit of Rey, a little bit of Kylo, here's Finn, here's Rey, here's Kylo, here's Finn, and we're being told the story as it unfolds, seeing it from basically 3 to 4 different perspectives of what's going on. Yeah. Because basically, like, this is all happening within a day, almost.
Yeah, that's one of the big changes. It's like, the actual, like, time span of the events in the movie is very tight.
It is.
It's very small and contained.
And because of that, it feels fast paced, and it feels like a rushed adventure, like a good rushed adventure. And for a movie that's 2.5 hours, I didn't feel it dragged at all. It held my attention. There was time, like, basically, I remember when we saw it late too. We saw a 12:20 show and shit like that, and I remember, like, I never at once, like, was worried about what time it was. I never felt like,
I never checked the time
how long has it been on? I never checked the time. I just watched it, and like, by the time it was over with, I sat there and I was like, I swear that was only like a 2-hour film. Because it moved, it was paced so well. Really quick, Carrie Fisher. You know, this was it's a tough film to watch when you watch this and you realize this is the last time you're going to see Carrie Fisher on screen playing Princess Leia. Yeah. And for that, I'll admit that the first time she shows up, it was like, I got a little bit, not teary-eyed, but emotional, because I knew this is the last time we are going to see her. Yeah. And this film, you know, I don't want to ruin anything, but like if this is her last time playing Princess Leia, it's a beautiful send off.
Yeah, especially because of those themes that we mentioned before.
Yeah.
Where like it's about changing things up and characters learning and changing and rising to an occasion. Yeah. Just in terms of like the themes of the movie, it really is the perfect send off for that character.
It is. So it was great.
Yeah.
One last performance I'll talk about, unless you can think of any others that you want to talk about.
No,
we kind of mentioned Benicio del Toro.
Yeah.
Andy Serkis as
Snoke.
Snoke.
That's right. Yeah.
Snoke. This was I've made definitely my two. I gave my 2 cents before about how I feel about completely CGI characters and shit like that. And I still stand by that Snoke could have been done practically, but he looks amazing.
Yeah.
The special effects. I mean, the special effects. I'll just say all around are amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
This definitely should and probably will get nominated for best special effects. And the only other film that came out this year that I think could rival it was Blade Runner. Snoke is we actually got to spend a lot more time with Snoke than I had imagined we would in the movie. And I'm not going to give anything away again for him, but he is a fascinating and just intimidating character.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis plays him so fucking well. And he is so fucking cool and so great. And again, we're not going to spoil anything about him, but you got to go into this film and you're going to either love every decision and everything they make with him, or you're going to fucking hate everything about it. One or the other. You're not gonna you're not gonna be in a middle point about Snoke.
I will say that I mean Andy Serkis does a great job with the voice, and they always do motion capture because Andy Serkis. So his movements and his expressions are great, and I will say what makes him, they do the intimidation factor right, where as much as we have had technically decades to learn about the Emperor and everything. They kind of had the same thing going with him, but I think with Snoke they hit it even more. Where he's intimidating not because he'll stand up and shoot lightning and and scream and be this powerful damaging presence, but because when Snoke does something, he does it so casually, but he's still exerting so much power that even as an audience who isn't there feeling it, you just know that there's no stopping this guy.
I just love his design, because in the Force Awakens, you can tell this design in this movie is just a tad bit different than Force Awakens Snoke, just a little bit. But I love his design. I love the fact that he's 8 feet tall. He's 8 feet tall. He fucking has bad teeth. He's got fucking claws, which I didn't notice at first, but eventually you realize no, his fingernails are sharp. He's got claws. And he's wearing this bright gold Ric Flair robe. Everything about him just says he's a badass. This guy ain't gonna take shit from nobody.
And that's the thing, is he knows it too. He again, this isn't like the Emperor where he'll sit there cackling at you. He's if he laughs, it's that kind of low chuckle, that smirk on his face. And most of the time, he just sort of sits there. Even when he's mad, it's just kind of a growl in his voice. And most of the time, he's just going to sit there and wait for you to screw up, because he knows you're going to do it first. I will say Oscar Isaac gets a few moments. Where good. Again, not necessarily a standout performance, but he's in more of the movie than he was Force Awakens, so he has more time, and we learn more about his character, and he also has an arc which is presented well, and I think he handles it well. And I'm glad that he has more stuff to do, because I have grown to like Oscar Isaac ever since
Poe, this is a character who was supposed to die. Originally in The Force Awakens in the first draft, but they liked Oscar Isaac so much that they kept his character alive.
And I'm glad they did, because I have started to like him more and more, even in other movies that once I learned who he was and I started watching him, I started liking him.
And definitely the film definitely, when you get to the end, hints at he's going to probably have a much bigger, more predominant role in the next film. So that's really cool. I was going to say, in terms of action, this film has some of the best action sequences I would say that any of the Star Wars films have.
There's a big, again, without spoiling the specifics, but there's a big battle, we'll say with Snoke's guards, because that doesn't spoil much.
I guess not.
Like, there's a big battle with Snoke's guards. I won't say who else is in it, but with Snoke's guards, that is just, it's one of the most creative things
it's one of the most
that I've ever seen in
creative,
Star Wars movies.
It is, and it is shot beautifully.
It's shot beautifully, and it's shockingly brutal, too.
It is. And it's just, it's not like the typical, like, Episode 3 fancy flippy shit.
As much as I love that stuff, yeah.
It's more...
It's a much simpler...
It's a much more, like, primitive, like,
Yeah.
just fucking, like, adrenaline rush type of fight for your life type of fight.
Yeah.
And it's done extremely fucking well. I would say, just to me, like, the whole last 40 minutes of the film is like one big action sequences after another where the stakes get high and you're rooting for our heroes while basically the bad guys are trying to fucking destroy them.
But very possibly the prettiest Star Wars movie I've ever seen.
Yeah,
like the cinematography on this is amazing.
Battle on the mineral planet that we've seen in the trailers.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
And even
it's a lot more beautiful on the big screen than it actually was on the trailers. Two last things I want to mention before we get into our overall thoughts or scores. One is that one thing that I didn't mention because I don't want to spoil anything. Again, it's not really a spoiler. But there are characters in this movie that do kind of take a back seat that you might be disappointed are taking a back seat. But, you know, if you go into the film and realize that it's not those characters' story, that those characters are just kind of part of the story, but the story is mostly going to be about these other certain characters, then you probably will accept it. You probably won't be that disappointed. But there are characters in this film, classic characters that you wish you were going to expect were going to be in it more, but aren't. And then the last thing I want to mention is porgs. These cute, cuddly, fucking merchandise selling little things are so adorable, and I am so proud to say that they do not overstay their welcome in the film.
No, that was one of the things before the movie came out was a lot of people were like, oh, good, it's going to be the new Ewoks, which I never had a problem with, to be fair.
No, I never had a problem with Ewoks either.
It's going to be the new Ewoks, it's going to be the new Jar Jar, they're going to be everywhere, they're just going to be obnoxious, and that could not be farther from the truth.
No.
They're in it, they have a couple of bits, which again, almost without exception work. Yeah. They are actually pretty funny. But they're very small, quick bits, and they actually make sense. They set up what these things are, and then you understand it, and it makes sense.
And they have some good moments with Chewie.
Yeah, and that's basically what it is.
Are fantastic.
Yeah,
they're really funny.
So,
and again, they're not in the film a lot.
Yeah, like I said, the cinematography was, a lot of it is special effects, but they do the special effects so well, and like Rian Johnson as a director, I don't know much about them. I don't know, really much else that they've done. I'm sure they've done things, but I don't know what they are. But like, if this movie's any indication, I'd like to see more of it.
Oh, he's what do you call it? He's going to do 3.
Well, yeah, he's going to do another trilogy of his own. Yeah, but my point is, I would love to see just more work from this guy because this was, it was so well shot. The direction I think was great, and again, the writing, which was not Rian Johnson, it was someone else, but. Like, the writing in this movie...
No, I think he wrote it.
What? Did he
helped write it.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
He did.
Well, then, great. Awesome. So, yeah, like, the writing was on point, and the acting was great, and, I mean, we didn't really touch on the music. It's John Williams. It's Star Wars. Of course, it's amazing.
It's amazing. It's Star Wars.
But, yeah, like, and, the writing and the acting was great, and it's just, like, it's a Star Wars... Like, it is very much Star Wars. Like, I sat through this movie, it was Star Wars through and through, and I loved it. But it still took every expectation I had, every expectation I had read from other people and heard from you and anyone else, and it just took it and it changed it and turned it on its head. And I didn't know where it was going, and when it was done, I couldn't have been happier, basically. Because it's taking the story and making it something new. It's not going to be the same thing again. And it's something that I want to see more of, and I'm glad that they're doing it. And this is the movie, finally. I have to give it a 10 out of 10. Because, I mean, yes, it's Star Wars. I'm biased. I'm never going to deny that.
Yeah.
But everything about this movie made me happy, essentially. Like, I could nitpick a couple of things, and in fact I did. I said, there were a couple of times that I was a little surprised they were going, again, I can't do it without spoiling it, but there's one kind of supremely silly moment with a character where you think that's it, and then they come back, and like, all right. At the same time, though, what happens with the character after that works, and I can't really be mad at it.
Yeah.
And so, and, you know, it's a character I like, so, like, what am I going to do, sit here and complain that they're still there? Like, no. So, you know, it's one silly moment that leads to good things, so there's nothing to complain. It doesn't detract from the movie.
I absolutely agree with everything you had to say. I love the characters. I love the twists and turns that they take. I loved Mark Hamill's performance. I loved Carrie Fisher's performance. I love Daisy Ridley's performance. I love Adam Driver's performance. I think that they did what a sequel should do, and that is expand on characters we were introduced to, and also give us new characters that they could expand on in the future, and they raised the stakes. And they put a lot of stuff on the line. That's what a true good sequel does. The cinematography was fucking great. The special effects were fucking breathtaking. The fucking new critters and aliens that we get introduced to, which we didn't really touch on, but my God, is it fucking amazing. When they go to that casino planet, it is just a fucking feast for the eyes in the background for you to look at all these great characters and these great, which are mostly practical effects, which is what's amazing.
Yeah, that's great too.
That to see a big budget film go and rely on practical when the norm now is just to do everything CG. But I mean, granted, I'm not saying there's not a lot of CG in the film. There is, but when they do practical, it's fucking amazing looking. Again, this is a film that if you go into it expecting and theorizing that this film's going to go a certain way, and it doesn't go that way, and you get pissed off about it, there's nothing I can do to help you with that. For me, I went into this film expecting fucking theory A, B, or C, and I didn't get either of those. But I accepted and I fucking loved the directions they went. They fucking take your expectations and they fucking throw them out the fucking window and they say, nope, we're going to go this way. And if you want us to go that way, you can continue to go that way with the other fucking people who are going to bitch about it. But we're going to go this way. And that's what the film does. The best way I could describe this film, you want to know how it's different? You want to know how this film is telling you that you know nothing about Star Wars and we're flipping it on its head? This is the first Star Wars film to not have the lines, I have a bad feeling about this.
That's right.
It's the first one to
not have that. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't even notice that.
And I could attest to that because I saw it the second time and I was looking for it because I was like, I don't remember hearing that. It's not in the fucking movie. So that should give you a hint as to how different they are going to go with this one and how different they are probably even going to go even further in the next one. And it has me excited even more for that next one. I haven't given a movie a 10 this year, and I haven't given a film a 10 since 2015. And the last two 10s I gave to was Mad Max Fury Road and Star Wars The Force Awakens. And I'm sorry, but this is the only film so far this year that is going to get a 10. Granted, there's still other films we haven't seen this year that might also be worthy of a 10, but I can't help but give this film a 10 as well. Because this film did everything right that I didn't know was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's fucking amazing. I loved it. I fucking saw it immediately the day after. Less than 24 hours later, I went and saw it again because I had the opportunity to, and I said, fucking yes, I'm buying tickets. I'm spending my hard-earned money on this. If I didn't have shit to do today, I would have been back at that theater probably watching it. But definitely this weekend, I definitely am planning on seeing it at least one more time. Probably next weekend or Christmas is coming up and a lot of people are off for Christmas Day and shit like that. I definitely do plan on seeing this again in the near future in theaters. And I will definitely be seeing it a lot more when it comes out on Blu-ray, DVD, whatever. So, yeah. Fucking great movie, 10 out of 10. I guess we'll cut it there and I'll just say, to recap, we both give Star Wars The Last Jedi a 10 out of 10. Not to say that there's not things you can nitpick about the film, there are.
No, but it's not a perfect movie, but it's the closest thing to a perfect experience I've had in a long time.
It is.
And I can't say enough good things about it.
I've seen people nitpick it and be like, these are flaws, and I'm like, I don't think that's a flaw, that's just a nitpick, but, hey, you're entitled to your own opinion. If you don't think it's a 10 out of 10 film, that's fine. That's your own opinion. we both admit that we both have a bias to Star Wars. We're not hiding that fact.
No.
But deep down though, we still think this is a fucking fantastic movie.
Yeah.
So that's gonna do it for this review. Please thumbs up the video if you like it. Please subscribe to our channel and please leave a comment and let us know what you guys thought of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We will hopefully be back soon with The Shape of Water, which I'm hoping is going to be
hopefully it'll be released somewhere near us.
It was supposed to
it
was supposed to come to our theaters a couple of weeks ago and it never did. So hopefully it will be at a theater by us pretty soon. I'm hoping this weekend coming up it will. I don't know if you're interested in seeing Jumanji, but I'm gonna go see Jumanji.
I mean, I'll maybe at the discount theater, maybe not full price.
I'm gonna probably see Jumanji when it comes out because my wife really wants to see it. She's a big fan of Jack Black, so
it's gonna depend on how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah, and I do like The Rock and the film. I'm not gonna lie and say the film doesn't interest me. It does. It's Jumanji, and I grew up loving the original Jumanji, so I want to see how badly they fuck everything up.
Yeah.
So we'll be back with either The Shape of Water or Jumanji, hopefully the first one. And then beyond that, we will be back with our top 10 best films of the year.
Yeah.
You're probably not at the end of the year, probably not at the beginning of next year, but at some point we'll be back with our top 10 films of the year. So until then, thanks for watching.